ребят. Я лишь направляю вот ваш поток, вашу силу. Не обязательно спамить. Не обязательно спамить. То есть, знаешь, тут такой больше соревновательный момент болельщиков. Вот вчера ярко прослеживалось, вот прям, знаешь, Twisted Minds и Bad Boom. Вот прям вот Нави еще вот, знаешь, в моменте включались. То есть есть кто вот прям топит конкретно за одну команду. Мне нравится, что под самолетов поддерживают. Лушечек, медов. Но самая вот большая фанбаза по вчерашней статистике, я ее выложил в телеграм-канал, это Twisted Minds и Bad Boom. Третий Нави, ну само собой.
No real pressure to be moving at the moment here. I mean, aside from that, not even really too much pressure to be scouting out a lot of what's going on around you. You'll know that BBL's kind of
Детство за медов. Вот, пошло-поехало.
the buildings a little bit further east of you, and from there they're going to be happy with
Сенсей, здравствуй. Так, вот, Квизя. Квизи едут душить. Вот ты понимаешь, что он соло. Он сейчас засмочит тачку, по идее, и должен уезжать. Но его не отпустят. Его не отпустят.
swing like this.
Yeah, they might already. I said it's flying in. Actually, you can see them on the E pickup, so they might
Куда же Иса
find themselves a little bit of a
полетят?
divot in the north side of Rozhok, or maybe even try and go for those bridges above. But it depends what they actually go for
Шкоу?
scouting. Looks like they're going towards
Это
school here, but
фрипоинты для
that's
твистов.
quite an ambitious play.
You say that, but none of them were in position to shoot. Now they are two guys out already. Batulin spots one midair.
No.
Can't connect onto Chris. Brex will fall midair. He's going to get instantly taken down. But now they have landed. Now they've made their way towards the school grounds. And Twisted Mind's got to be quick about this, because we know it with school in particular. If teams
Мы хорошо
very
вдвоем
sniff that
заехали.
there's a fight going on and these two teams are occupied with one another, even 15
Кстати,
fights
из-за того,
going
что
on.
Иса на крыше басика, кажется же, медов там видно сейчас.
Kind of given away that position. FaZe moved in on the backside with all of it. Foldable shield into lie down, into stay on the hill.
교환해요. 야, sonunda finale. Ringi 봐야지, on te horen nog iets shit. Sonunda finale. Sonunda
Спасибо
finale.
за подписочку.
So many threats that are currently occurring on them.
Оп, нокни. Ну, ты что, Саша?
Every single little bit of it. Oh, that's
В
unfortunate.
итоге в ухо получает.
You can see how and why they have always held on to school. How well they know
Окей.
to hold school here currently.
Нави доедает Ликс Люрикса.
Negatory
У Медов остается один.
down in the
Они, скорее всего, закончат без поинтов. Персик нокает.
معانا حرفة نوجي لاش. Ja.
Должны дать. 2 синички дают. А синичка-то их должна подсъесть. Ой, они прям в уголочке сидят. Ой-ой-ой. Нужно еще дать. Ай-яй-яй, не чувствуют они. Так, давайте, мы включаем медленный режим. Да пошла возня, ребят. Начинается фанатский хаос. Покажите всем, за кого вы болеете. Здесь очень перспективно. Бэтбумам сейчас надо будет выходить. Но по идее они должны...
Какая команда выживет дольше? 1 минута на голосование, Нави
Край Басика
или
Уинстоп все
Фейзы?
еще играет.
1 минута на голосование. У вас 1 минута. Время пошло. Нави или Фейзы?
Блин, Фекс дурацкая позиция. Если он куда-нибудь лишний раз высунется, он просто нокнется, его никто не...
Does see Entropic in the distance. Once Entropic has to eventually move, though, from a circle like this, it's going to be very hard to make the transition to a north.
FaZe is making life a living hell for Entropic here. They're busy enough trying to hold off against BB team. As you can see now, at least FaZe is starting to shoot at both of them. So not picking sides as BB team are making the run for it. They've already set up the smoke wall. Now they swing around the side. The first player's down already. Let's see if Hawking can find something on the off angle.
Why not shoot everyone? Yeah, that's a great idea. Hawkeye here. Nades will actually rain down once again here against this position. Entropic now in a lot of trouble. Grandis will end up falling as well. And it's only up to Hawkeye to try and hold this off just behind that. He has very little room to work with here with the UAZ. And Spiro likewise has to throw down another smoke as well. Bullets just raining down on this.
I was gonna say clinic approach in this, but once again, FaZe being such a pain in the butt to these guys trying to take the fight straight on. They need to get it done with quickly. They need to set up and get ready for the fight against FaZe. Next circle will shift soon, but again, I mean, FaZe, they have all the ammo in the world, they have all the time in the world, now they have the circle as well.
Actually, reinforcements going to be coming down here from FaZe, realizing that they could put a lot of pressure on that south side. And if they do, then this dip becomes even stronger for them later on down the line, as long as they can eventually also deal with Na'Vi. Bestalosh, though, actually takes down Gustav as they try and make the entry point, but James will finish it off. Can he make the recovery? I mean, if he can take down Hawkeye here, they are covering all of the south side. Brilliant stuff by James.
Huge play, giving up the center position, the king of the hill position in this circle to take out the team on the southern side. Yes, they lose one in doing so. Keep in mind, Correxy fell earlier. But they come down, they claim it, to get a ton of kills to boot. And now, if he wants to, James can wrap back up to fix. The only issue is now teams realize they are off the hill. And now there's something there to fight for. Na'Vi, quick as they are, instantly goes up to try and claim the rich themselves.
There's two major constrictions for these teams. Still the Twisted Mind and Ascend situation, and still the Rozok situation here. Foot might actually have a great opportunity to exploit a lot of this by taking eventually that hill, which FaZe gave up, and maybe just avoiding both constriction locations completely during all of this. Likewise, Navi's trying to do the same. Ascend is now making the move, trying their very best to wiggle on through this and avoid some of the shots here, but Vard has found himself in a spot of bother.
Yep, Foot. They are very good in up-close fighting, but again, I mean, when it comes to cities, when it comes to shotguns, all these, I don't want to say RNG impact, but things that can kind of be out of your control, it's very hard to maneuver through. Foot, though, here, I like the way they're approaching it. Keep them at bay. Again, they know there are two teams on the western side. Force them into each other. Let them kind of weaken one another before having to make a move eventually yourself. James will find Kiliaka in the end. Again, FaZe cleaning up here as they hit kill number 10.
Yeah, this is really good for them to try and make that catch-up happen against the teams that were sponging it all up yesterday. As at the same time here, Foot is not only pressuring in Rozhok, but is also pressuring Twisted Minds as well. The only team that is really getting away from not being on the prying eyes of Foot is Na'Vi. I'm not really including FaZe too much in this because they're not really posing a threat to them just yet. But Na'Vi here has got herself a little bit of room as well, and Fex is waiting in the wings to try and pounce.
Let's see if they come out successful or not. Fex, not a whole lot he can do other than try and look over towards James and kind of keep him safe. I'd be surprised if Na'Vi opts to aggress all the way over the hill right now. But maybe he can play spoiler. Maybe with info from James, should he opt to look towards the west, he can catch one off guard if they peek their nose a bit too far forward.
Very blue, very blue. We've got ourselves T-Bone just taking a cheeky shot or two over the way. Dragonov's in hand. Fantastic for these kinds of range fights. As Twisted Minds now is going to have to eventually make a move. The circle's about to pop, and where are we going to be going? James is sending it all the way through in a car here to try and find himself a little respite from some of the potential action that Twisted Minds was looking at. Twisted Minds is somehow still in the circle with this shift.
Yep. Oh. They sure are. Sitting tight down towards the southeast side here. They are very much nade bait, though, so keep your eyes on the kill feed. They might blink and they'll be done for. James, in the meantime, somehow able to hold back Diffix. He had a nice off angle, but only a smoke, a tree, and a blown up car for cover. James still manages to stay alive, and now is the time where Fex can somehow creep up just a bit. He might catch a player like Ferris off guard.
Maybe. Still being very cautious about the approach here. Sossad's actually focused on Pod Samulet as well. So now he realizes that Rozhok is a problem. Fex is going to peek on over. Gets a perfect opportunity on Ferris. Has to fall back, but the repeat here as Sossad turns around straight away to trade it.
Saw too many players on the other ridge line. In the end, James will fall as well, but damage has already been done. Pod Samulet able to disengage from the city itself. Now taking the fight to Na'Vi 4 versus 2. They have to be quick about it, though, because they still have Pero and Foot on the other side of this.
Maybe Diffx tries to go for more shots. A lot of nades still in the hands of Pod Samulet here. So how successful are these going to be? They're not really throwing them into big dips, but Pin actually gets a great little trade against them. And another nade comes forward from Presenti, taking down Na'Vi. That's a huge thorn out of their side to be able to give them room.
Not only that, but as you just said, then tons of room acquired. If they dare to cross on over, if they dare to go down into the same bowl that we saw Fex in earlier, they will have so much control. Yes, they can fight Foot for the hilltop side, but they have, I mean, the Foot is busy. They're preoccupied with Twisted Minds over on the other side. And they're holding them on one side, and Beamy is currently on Pero duty. So Pod Samulet, if they're daring enough, could claim a lot of space here.
Did that car just run him over?
It might have.
Anyway, as we continue on, that is very unfortunate, but regardless of the fact here, Foot is still trying to hold a lot of space. They've got themselves the hill. They've got a little bit of pressure still applied in Rozhok. However, I must say for Pera and Pod Samulet, they've done a great job of almost disengaging. I feel bad for Pera. I still think they're going to be really caught in the sandwich of all of this. But Pod Samulet has done brilliantly to find themselves some wiggle room after taking down Na'Vi and an MG3 in hand. Yes, baby.
I feel like if you're Twisted Minds right now, you're going, Foot, don't you have teams in Rozhok that you have to concern yourself with? Like, can't you just let us get out of this, like, crap position and take a fight? Now, finally, Pero will be eliminated, so a 3-way 4v4v3 is on our hands. It's just the southern side of the hilltop that will be the center of what is the final circle, and I mean, Twisted Minds, you're the first to have to make a move, but how the hell do you get out of there?
Yeah, it's rough. It's rough. They were fortunate in the previous circle, the fact that they were still in. Now, okay, it's crunch time. What are you going to do? Because there will be guns looking your way. As Twisted Minds, you're hoping that the fight starts above in the north, and then you get an opportunity. But I don't think that's going to occur.
8C down to 8 spare bullets. Hopefully he can get a few from his teammates on the other side. Many of them you can see rocking the 7.62. A lot on the side of Beamy. Hopefully he can get some there. But now, we'll see if they make a run for it. I think it's Batulins, already sending it forward, trying to get further towards the west. He's inside the circle. Not only that, he's currently now the player closest to where this game will actually finish off. So if Pod Samulet eyes the hilltop fight rather than this, if Batulins just stays like kind of low for a while, this could be a very, very good outcome for Twisted Minds. simply because of the position they currently find themselves in.
How have they been able to get away with this? Did I just black out? This is ridiculous. I mean, the fact that they've just phantomed their way over here without taking any casualty from Foot's line of sight, that's brilliant. I suppose that the opportunity for a Foot was a lot more small than I initially anticipated. As Pod Samulet, okay, yeah, I mean, look at that line of sight. It's really not that much, but they do hit Lou.
And the thing is, for Foot as well, they have to respect Pod Samulet. They're set just on the other side of the hillside, right? So I mean, you can see Beamy constantly looking West T-Bone for the most part, looks over there too. But then, of course, catching Lou in the open like that, you're gonna take shots eventually. And now, this is when they split it off there. I mean, Foot is trying to essentially set themselves up for a third-party opportunity, but they're trying to aggress on both the remaining teams at the same time.
Trying to apply the pressure. They do not want to be the third team to be the unfortunate victims of all of this. You want to force the engagement from your opponent or clean it up so fast that you're ready to deal with Pod Samulet. 8-0 takes down Perfectix. They back off from it as well. They're not being super aggressive on toward Batulins, and that's the perfect way to play this out for the moment. You don't want to give your opponents the opportunity to just pounce.
Where is Pod Samulet in all of this? They're giving Foot space to breathe, allowing them to move out now, though the knock comes through just before the smokes bloom proper. It will find him through the edge if it presents. He able to take one down. The rest should be possible, though. Vart should be able to get it, but I don't think they have all the intel on exactly where Twisted Minds currently are. That nade should have been seen, though. Presenti, you can see now wrapping around the ridge line. The way that he's looking, I don't think he knows that Batulins is down on his right side. He has no clue. Now he sees him.
Goes for it. Yeah, they're going to be cleaned up very, very quickly. The pocket aces, though, is that MG3 up on the high ground from Dante. How much does Foot know? They see the amount of people that are down towards the bottom here. They've got to be very careful about how they approach this little plateau towards the top, because Dante was peeking over there for a moment. He's trying to get information himself, and that is a dangerous weapon to be going up against on that plateau.
Sure, there's 4v4. Hell of a fight coming up here. Beamy is able to find Dante on the hillside.
Perfect stuff. Perfect stuff. Take that out of the equation. You're only really going up against the Orgs at the moment here. As now Dante down to the blue as well. That is a huge pickup for a Foot. They've played it patiently, slowly from the east side here. Sprays come in, not able to connect with Pin too much, but a fall back here. And 80 hits Presenti.
6 trade coming through from 80. He had to peek over the exact right time, but the peek around the side comes through as well. 2v1 now. 80. Beamy trying to creep forward. No vest on the side of 80. He helps to help out his teammate as best as he can. There comes the headshot connected, but Rocks able to take him down in return. Now 80. 43 HP to his name and no vest remaining. One bullet should do it. Does it seem? Yes, it does. And Rocks able to get the 1v2 for the win.
What a play! By Rocks. The fact that he was able to clutch that out.
That was insane. No vest for 80. I mean, that's the win in the end. That was 1v2 peeking over. Even takes out Beamy in the end, so he can't get the info across. Absolutely huge stand of this ground from Pod Samulet there. Wow.
At the end of game 4 yesterday, I was saying Pod Samulet, man, they're really performing very well. Next 2 games, an absolute nothing. It was a dud for them in the last 2 games. They've come out dealing with Na'Vi, being able to go toe-to-toe with Foot at the very end. That was fire. Let's head back to the desk here to break it all down.
It was fire, and I love to see everything burn. What a way to start day number 2 here at PEC Spring Avenger. What did you think about that final fight?
That was beautiful. You know, I love how Foot tries to make sure that they are 4 guys alive and still able to get so many kills, right? But they're trying to make sure that Twisted Minds cannot get herded towards the Pod boys, but having that high ground, having that late game situation, and it all comes down to a 1 versus 1 for the win. That's just beautiful. I love it.
It was beautiful, Saga, and it was a great way to start the show.
Yeah, definitely almost as exciting an end game as hearing a guy in his mid-30s who paints Warhammer in the break describe something as fire. Very surprising on both ends between that and Rocks coming out with such an impressive clutch against a team that, I mean, you said it yourself, it was so important for Foot to keep all 4 players alive as long as they did, and even getting the revive when there was an opportunity that Pod could have maybe capitalized on the 1 knock that did come through. Foot regrouped, but it still wasn't enough. Rocks just huge endgame.
There obviously was a conversation that happened between last night and today, though, because we didn't really see a lot of Foot Avenger yesterday. They seemed to struggle to find their footing on day 1.
Yeah, I see what you did there, and I enjoyed that third. No, I think you can definitely tell how their focus is. That they want to make sure that their Fall Guys strong, and they want to put themselves into these late game situations because their firepower and the mechanical skill is going to shine through. But here, 16 kills, 16 points. You know, and 5 teams on double digits.
This is the big thing for me, though, is the double-digit kills from Foot and FaZe, because I think that aggressive play makes all the difference. When you want to get points on the board and you want to make sure that even if you maybe don't finish in the top 4, that you're still going to be able to be up there, and we'll see how this affects the leaderboard in a little bit. This is what you now have to do. You have to be a little bit more aggressive and get those kills, right?
There was definitely 2 different methods on display on how to get to that point as well. FaZe, they had the option to sit back and play a little bit more passively, but dang, they went full speed in. I'm thinking back to that fight in the dips in the open field, flying forwards in coupes where FaZe spotted out that there was an opportunity to get esports. They played a classic FUT esports game, a little bit slow, finding the space, and then
What I do love is how close this
Tabii ki de çekme. Çok nak yani güçlü tamam güçlü. Ne тут просто таблица известна тебе через характер.
Сам балансит.
Yeah, you know, we have a little bit of sponges with Mad Bulls and Twisted Minds, of course. And then also the rest of it has been very spread out. It's not been 2 other teams that's really been doing it, but you can definitely see a little bit of a mid-pack forming in that.
Statistical output
top 40s. Continue to see it's very consistent Foot, very consistent FaZe, very consistent BB teams, and then of course situations like Pot popping off, Navi also being able to get kills here and there. They were Navi in a really rough situation on that western side, shrink away from them, but still manage to get kills.
Тут Нави bir şey var.
And yeah, I think we're definitely going to see our, top 6, top 7 teams form a little bit of our top kind of mid-pack alliance.
Sen çana bile de bu. Kaçtı hareket var bence de.
So one of the teams in that top 6 obviously had double-digit kills here as well, was of course FaZe. So through their journey here.
Ну ты стало сухо. Поиграй, короче, на Ронеру для عدم يجي point بيجي. شو بالنا على
Нормально было на вещи.
ليش لا ده لو ذكر عدم يجي.
It's Navi mungum gibi şana bu gibi şimdi Navi rehiz grikhan.
And they've completely wiped that slate clean, coming in third partying. A bit of a TDM on the hilltop, which probably didn't need to happen, but August was there, so of course it happened anyway.
Ez Navi ki şipşiptikum bu gibi.
Navi ki kristabikum reis.
And I'm not 100% certain that it was
Kristabidan bir kez zahmet
yes,
المفروض يكون احنا
Twisted
وداشنا.
Minds as they have to deal with the emergency parachute from Ascend, but it's the play where they get into their vehicles at the exact right time to convoy in behind BBL.
Ne top ma حتى sport прогноз bu sezon Navi ki stability ki establishment. Hangi turnier прогноз abone?
Abun عليه تويستنا على ساعتكم. على دي 5700 ريخنا ساعت. 2900 بار 5700 برهندي 5700 ريخنا ساعت سناويت.
Avenger, what did you think of FaZe's performance?
Yeah, I mean this pull up kind of as Saga pointed out, the caravanning coming in, like if you can third party at a perfect time and you can put it down into a dictionary, you would pull up this video here because the commotion that it creates having 4 or 5 cars drive in with more than 6, 7 players. It's just a huge like, it's way too hard to deal with, right?
Короче, ты видишь, сколько прогноз и без вечернего туда.
Печально все.
Kind of rolling with the
Abu ana Navi ki twistabi ron.
O ana bir establishment da gibi Navi ki establish.
Establishment ron.
is a little bit damaged here and managed
Top
to
go
get out and get
revanş olsun da.
get a knock, and actually because Navi was hurt, Pot pushed out and they managed to
Они комментарии, то есть они уже обумали, как что-то это мне напоминает лишь что Амбан
managed to come in and they finished that, and Fix actually got that kill from that, right? So it was worth the investment. I was contemplating, okay, are we going to see like a more down to 2 players, but no, they continued. We saw G off Ascend, and
Ja,
I
sieht
like
etwas
that,
zwingend
and
macht
that's
Attack
kind
mit
of what you
Tergo
have to do,
Sakara.
because if you can get 1 or 2 more points in these situations, when you can win the game, and you have like a 50-50
Короче, тут цена вечера
like
бичей.
I said, kill your Kai there on that eastern side,
Биться эмаха
there's
фестан
no super
бишизи.
confidence that they're having coming into today.
First game is out of the way.
Ben
There are
Giant düşüyorum
5
biraz.
more to go here for
Hatta
day
bir
2
gitsin
of the
aşağıda.
PUBG EMEA Championship. We'll see
Gel.
you in a little bit.
Asuz محنتي ممكن إجراء حيث لو أنا قلت.
Join us for our 7th anniversary celebrations. An all-new SMG experience in the arcade, and finally, the recall system update. We've got lots of surprises in store for you to celebrate our 7th birthday. Erangel's school will be transformed into a festive 7th anniversary event. Plus, keep an eye out for throwable cupcakes. And
Idin amban dit sosteni maç almaktas amcu kuarl tanaydi.
we've been hard at work balancing the SMGs to offer a more unique experience and accommodate various gunplay strategies. The arcade is all set for you to try out these changes, so get that early feel and let us know what you think. And there's more exciting news. Based on your positive feedback, we're expanding the recall system to include Vikendi and Tego. Check out the patch notes to discover all the details of this update. Lastly, this patch also includes weapon mastery updates, world bug fixes, and performance tweaks. Be sure to dive into the patch notes for all the details. And we'll see you on the battlegrounds.
Bunu bir tanaydı. Yine bir kamera doğa. Nereye bak ne utara. Boyunca bakın boyunca. Evet çoktan boyunca. Oğlum Galatasaray bir çözülüyor. Durdu bak Galatasaray yapıyor. Aramak kan bacını bak la patlar mı patlar. Her şey güzel kadın bu. Her şey güzel kadın.
Keep an eye on flight
Hep
radar,
bu
because
için ças
Monster
ya.
cruising altitude to be able to get themselves into a top 3 already after that game, and we've got ourselves one more
Yo
round
عقبت
to
ما انترنا
fight
شوي تبي
to
صور
try
قندوش
and get
شوي.
some
شيء ما
more
يقابل
progress. So you
قابل
can
بطل
see a little
يسوي.
smile as we've got our plane path good to go.
Yeah, as simple as they come, straight east to west. Pretty much at this point, we can guarantee this will not be a military
Ne kamaç anıyor? Baydı kana.
all for it, but highly doubtful.
Let's do it. As we now have ourselves game number 8. It will be our last Arangel for the day, and then we'll be getting the mix-up. We'll be going to Tego, Vikendi, Miramar, for all of these teams to really test their mettle. It really keeps the teams
Tabii ki
on
de
their
nefestan
toes.
kız aranan şarkı
Switches,
tekniği.
but that's what BR's all about, really, because it's not just the fact that you're keeping your
Cidden nefestan kız aran bunu diye yancı stavka
backgrounds, it's
tekniği.
also all of
გიწევს ფართლიდი ნოა რომ ერინცემ ყრამ ასობეჭ კამანდასთან ჯაიბერ ჰონდა არ
We're
მინდა
only adding more. I mean, we got a quick glimpse of Gustav's thoughts on Rondo. I think his facial expression said the most in terms of more maps to have concern yourselves with. It's an ever-evolving scene and an ever-evolving game that we're.
Izu каждый карта шикали команда вона рефейбит
The first thing I saw when I saw that interview was
ანგელოსანი ბატაგო حارب команда გულათია კინაზე გულათია
Yeah,
კარტაბოში
there you go. Toby can give you the glimpse behind the scenes.
I will admit that there were moments where I thought it
Гадус топовый команда решила.
ნავისი რანგელ ბოტკილი ბანახკირევი
like microphones we were wearing, and I don't feel like paying for one of them just because I wanted to make at least one person out of the three of us laugh, which would have been myself. So yeah, it was very cold. There was the clip where he was in water, and I thought he might fall in himself. Then it wouldn't be my fault, but didn't happen. So Northern Circle, as straightforward as can be, a little bit of river play in the middle, which might cause some trouble down the line, but for now it should be pretty straightforward.
Yeah, and getting up to a circle like this, you've got to make important decisions, of course, like which side of the river are you going to take? In fact, before we actually dive into this game and the these teams are going to take, let's actually talk to them and see what important things they've got to approach on Erangel.
мали понад ойла заля баада заля
транспорту надавати перевагу Азіку, тому що він найбільш міцний, а
Будеш соль до пойти за нього через.
Друге, це завжди знати, як відіграти Сосновку, тому що для більшості команд це найскладніша зона.
I would say that it's very important for our team to manage our rotations well, make everything in time, and just play our best positions possible.
When you play from Sosnovka like us, it is important to take time when crossing the bridge, scouting, moving from point to point. Decides to camp the bridge, right, Ascent?
Great response there from Entropic playing from Sosnovka as they're into Verni and it's a backup drop, so the circles worked out for them at least.
It's rare that you get a little punch in and right as Hawky knows what's up. They know too. I mean, honestly, him mentioning Ascent in this clip is kudos to Ascent, because that's a great telling that their little effort, maybe camping them a couple of times, have gotten into his brain. This means every time they'll near a bridge where they know Ascent is anywhere nearby, they'll hesitate on the rotation. And thus, this is going to give Ascent more space. Even if they ain't there, they have effectively, with 1 or 2 games worth of camping a team, managed to always make more space for themselves whenever they go up against that team again. So, good job, Ascent. You got into the mind of Hawky.
I mean, the butterfly effect in that regard is on everybody's minds, right? It's not even just the players. It's like in the previous game when we were talking about FaZe being at Milta, and what did you bring up? You straight away brought up the potential of them camping a bridge. They don't do it much now, but they used to every so often sprinkle it in, and then that causes that trickle effect of, oh, well, you know, there's all these small moves, these small things you've got to consider are very much present.
Now, yesterday, I came up with a syndrome called Severny syndrome. We saw it happen when a team lost a play. It was in Montenegro, but the point remained the same. It actually was picks and choices of whatever they want, and then when teams eventually do pull up on one of their 4 positions they've opted to claim, the player that is there doesn't get out of the compound fast enough, and they lose players in the early game despite having some of the best real estate in this circle presented. Curious to see now with Entropic currently spreading out to take more control if something like this happens again, because to me that's one of the things where it takes a very specific situation to not be inexcusable. You can hear those vehicles at a long distance. You're always aware of where pressure is coming from. You always should have your vehicles parked in the perfect position. For the teams that are fighting to make PGS, it's expected to know how to handle set situations, and losing players in the early game in these situations, to me, for the most part, is rather unacceptable. So curious to see now if something like this happens, how teams will adapt.
Вона ріхла, до речі, чемпіонат переарена. Півара вона дуже корейські віжі команди. Асабисто сімнадцяті команди не проходили.
Stupid place. Wait, you're saying I have Zaki syndrome?
Yeah, you've proven it 2 days in a row now. once could be a coincidence.
Ci stava rotazio di Tipton e sono
I'm
tronco.
going to get them tomorrow as well, and everybody's going to forget that I got Zaki 2 days in a row. I'm going to get them 3 days in a row. Stupid Zaki.
In before we get a Zaki ending tomorrow, and you can't make that joke anymore.
No, stop.
Someday, James, we'll have it. In the meantime, the main reason, I suppose, that we're allowed to jibber-jabber a bit here as the rotations come through, as we do see the beloved city, the only town in a wrinkle I have never casted a finish in. The reason we are allowed to talk a little bit of Mimi here for a while is because, as I said earlier, rotations are very straightforward here. Yes, you have to commit to whether you want to be north or south of the river. And point on where you expect it to go right now. It's maybe a bit more northern skewed than south, but again, right now, set yourself a bit in position. The closer to the river you can get, the better off you're going to be once the circle does swing to one on the other side.
I was timing how long they were showing Zaki for, and I was about to say this is 30 seconds too long that we're showing Zaki, but they're still here.
We can stay here for a while. Talk about Zaki, James. Keep going.
This is illegal.
It's amazing. What do you mean? I mean, the boys have committed all their 15 observers.
Yeah, exactly.
To just Zaki. They're just finding all the cool angles in Zaki. That's what's happening right now. Everyone's on Zaki hunt.
These observers. There's other teams to watch here. This is ridiculous.
Are there though?
Not
we
right
can
now.
look at Zaki. I mean, look at how cool it's going
Sono
to be
Tipton
through Zaki. In the meantime, let's get serious for a
Hadi
moment.
imbazzoluzione.
Ascent. We mentioned them earlier, or this Hawkey did.
Poi in cosa riesci uno
Poligono dovesse vedere
Will they find more Chris? Lower ground has a good off angle here, but
poi scambo qui dentro un buon quanto riesce nel point sulla faccia quando di tre giochi
You do not want to just take the tree coverage yourself, because you know your opponent's trying to look for alternate angles and could quite easily open up one whilst you're actually making that heel go down. But Smoke Chain now trying to get out of there, get a little bit of better cover with some of these rocks. Another shot comes in from Chris, will not connect with the MK12, and have to back off.
Yeah, everyone's pretty much inside the circle at this point. It's only BB team and one of the little W players that remain outside, so pretty calm, these rotations early on. Of course, we will have teams somewhat close to one another, but as long as you don't get the chaos of last game where two teams get eliminated within the first 10 minutes, teams should get closer, obviously, to one another. So as calm as it is right now, we're really just one hard shift in any given direction based on how well these teams are kind of placed within one another. We're really only one hard shift away from complete and utter chaos.
No, you're right. It's always difficult to make those transitions along this kind of river, and one of the positions that always becomes a bit of a focal point for me when it comes to how you're going to play this. It's places like Rozhok, and it's places like the bridges actually next to Rozhok, because actually they can house teams. They can exist there for a little bit. Of course, you know, getting coverage for your cars is a bit difficult, so you're kind of committing to that. But Tuster's going to commit to some shots going against James here. Does take him down. This
هذا هو الشمبلة
حطيت انا السخنة مرة انت انفصل
I mean, we talked about it coming into the previous game. Then
لا تشوفين إبلي هذا اللي فيش شيء بالشام هذا بيقول أنت خلاص تصير كمان بالشام هيك تسألها أرجيك واضح
until the end of days.
And we were praising FaZe for we're kind of really learning some from the mistakes from the last chance, right? But now this is just kind of a repeat of that, unfortunately, for them. Just a little bit aggressive on their approach throughout some of this terrain. And I, to a degree, can understand it because of the way the circle is. But we still have another fight actually brewing here. BB squad already lost themselves. BB team even lost one. Yes, Phil first does go down. They've actually all the way down to 1 now. This is a disaster for BB.
Best of luck, forced to think better of it, forced to rotate out again. I mean, BB team thought they were smart and slow on approach, but again, because nobody has opted to take dead center positions, it means more teams out on the edge. We're remaining with a solid 50-50. I mean, again, a little more space on the northern side, maybe, but this circle, how do you rotate into it with the north being so open and the majority, if not all teams coming in from the west side? This is going to take some casualties with it, definitely.
Go for the bridges.
Or don't.
I mean, it's a tough spot. It really is a tough spot. Up north of the river, though, we do have ourselves Pera, and being rocked up by Foot once again. They were kind of on their heels in the previous game, and now they're here again. That's a great flash to be able to go around there. Perfectly timed by Schofield.
Yeah, we saw yesterday how not to do it in one of the fights on the south side of the Wrangle. That one right there looked absolutely perfect. Laser sight SKS. This is a meta I didn't know was a thing. SKS be one thing, but laser sights, that's a whole other drill. In the meantime, now the remaining players of FUT Esports trying to come in and claim what little space there is to maneuver here. Vard pushes up, finds Lassa instantly. Now Schofield next on the chopping block, caught with nade in hand. Can't quite get it to where he wanted.
Yeah, very, very vulnerable at the moment here. If he's able to send a nade in and reinforcements come along, that could be the end of Schofield. But here come the reinforcements. Baron Peak takes a lot of damage upon entry. He is right next to Beamy at the moment. Tries to drop that nade around the corner here, kind of corralling him into Beamy almost at the moment if he doesn't actually want to step in towards that nade. And there is another member of Para on the way to try and shut down FUT.
Using util to try to buy time for one another right now. You saw Beamy in the bathroom trying to get healed back on up. He has successfully done so, but with two players stuck inside that one-story building, it's not easy to really maneuver. 80 wants to get outside, wants to get an off angle, has the pan in hand. Not sure what the purpose of that was, but able to get his gun back out once more as he vaults back inside the building anew.
So much util being used. Stay on the toilets.
Floor is lava.
Ah! Oh, it's not the toilet, it's the bath. Sorry, my bad. Sorry, Beamy. Just made sure to look at the toilet just in case that was the case. But we got ourselves another nade going through. He actually retreats back into the bathroom. He's going for the attack on Baron Peak here. He takes a lot of damage back into the bathroom. Out into Baron Peak.
That was his own nade too. That might just have cost him his life. We'll see now if Beamy gets the angle. He does indeed. Can't find the knock initially, but second time around will successfully take down Baron Peak.
You heard some hit the pan there. That was all a bit of a comedic situation. Back into the bathroom. Stay in here. Safety in the bathroom.
I've never seen someone have so much comfort in just hiding in the bathroom in a fight. But you know what I mean? It does prevent quite a bit of nade damage. So far, it definitely has. This fight is prolonging quite a bit, though. These teams are both lucky that BP team went down earlier, because I think this would have very easily been like a solid pull-up position for more teams coming in from the west. Double blue zone nades lopped over, double blue zone nades failed. Good thing is Beamy is here as well, and he can throw both of them inside the window.
Yeah, those were the saddest double BZ nades I've ever seen. And these ones, not bad. They're actually doing some damage against Schofield. Might be able to get the knock. Yes, he does.
The double.
The double is so important. You have to do that. Otherwise, these pro players are just going to out-heal one of them. And Beamy swings around. What a great play from Beamy cleaning this up.
Not sure if there was a bit of delay on the feet there, what it was, but he practically headshot him before he came around the corner. That was an instant scope in and flick. Nice play there from FUT Esports. Yes, they lose T-Bone in an awkward engage initially. He was kind of alone there for a moment, but the fact that they're able to turn it around and then take out the four of them without taking more casualties and now get the circle too is huge for FUT.
And Beamy put a donk on that one. And now we've got ourselves a circle shift up towards the north of the river for the most part. So we're going to see a lot of these teams trying to transition. Twisted Mind's already moving across the bridge. Mad Bulls finds themselves in the midst of win or die, but actually BBL is also shooting in their direction as well. So win or die is going to feel a lot of pressure here, not only from Mad Bulls who are on the east side, but hello my bad already finds Lookerooks overstepping the mark slightly.
Dangerous time to be out here in the open too. They know that many more teams are going to be coming this way, at least with the circle ship we saw just before Bumble Squad airplaning their way towards the north. Might just drop down on this exact position. They got to get out quickly, and here they are mid-air. They will go for the one story instead, though. Lewis nearby might catch some of the mid-air.
How are they getting away with this? Only Madsy has actually gone down. Maybe they can even recover him here, but Spread's going to be going on towards another member here. Tuster trying to hold on from the north side. Will we see any push from still win or die or Mad Bulls? They're kind of locked in it at the moment, and BBL is across the way, but not able to do anything about this.
Okay, Risto, think your teammates might want to go the other direction as he rocks up on Dante. That bike ain't gonna grant him a whole lot of shooting capabilities. Hard to really do seat swaps unless if you're playing with Scorpions on the pistols. Smart by him to disengage. And for Na'Vi now, I mean, with the send on the other side too, where do you set up shop, guys?
Yeah, where do you go? They're going to have to thread the needle. Fairest is all the way up in the north here, whilst the other guys are trying to navigate all of these teams that are all spread out in 2-1-1 splits, 2-2 splits, and a great couple of shots coming in here. Not from really Yanni. It will be Pod Samolet who's able to take down Sossed there. So as much as we're watching this POV, it's Pod Samolet still racking up those points.
Yeah. Ferris just kind of forced into Severny, forced to rethink the rotation. Of course, it is only phase 3, so you can't tank that blue for a little while. They're wrapping around in Tropic. I like this idea, but now if you look at the map, HC is currently a solo player up near the twin compound towards the north of where we saw Foot just before. He is tasked with holding off all of this, and right now, I was just going to say, here's one car. That probably means more cars are coming, and he's going to back off. But that's also info to Hagatori now that there's enemies lingering nearby. Is this a bait? Did he drive off the hill to then cut the engine and stay?
Maybe.
Get away from the head, so you don't know what's coming. Oh, never mind. They're committed to this.
Concerned.
Vard is coming up too.
Yeah, I think Navi realizes exactly what's kind of going on across this, so he's just going to have to fall back here. 8C realizes that, okay, maybe this is a little bit too fraught with danger. We'll run away. And Hagatori looking for Vard.
Look at the map, though. Face the remaining 2 players of said team are making their way into this area as well. And once, or if Foot hears these vehicles, so they're coming in slow, correction already out. Mimi has just fired his DMR, so they have good intel. There's a player in this position. That might just be perfect timing for FaZe to pull up on this, unless the Beamy reads what's happening.
Yeah, FaZe has got to do something about it quick as well. Like, with the full shift north, they need to start using this as a checkpoint and then just get moving from here. So maybe locked in a fight for the moment.
Really joie Tarullo, a dit stop
these buildings. I think they may have sniffed out the fact that there is a fight going on over them, so they're keeping their eyes on it. Beamy's going to be falling back. They'll have seen him transitioning between these buildings, and Vard's coming in for the pickup.
Oh, and he has no clue whatsoever. And he's on a bike as well. Could not be any worse. The tires got popped earlier. The fact that the tire on that buggy got popped earlier might actually be the saving grace for Beamy. Now 8C is coming down here as well, going as slow as can be in a buggy. These guys are doing everything they can to bait FaZe to reveal their position. But 2 players hiding behind the same tree, they ain't about to reveal where they are.
They don't fully know that it's not a 4-man at this point, because they're working with a lack of information, so they're very cautious about how they're moving forwards here. Beamy looks out that way, and we'll continue to just still play it slow whilst the other guys daisy chain in towards the circle, so that there's at least a bit of a route here for Foot to try and move along, as long as they're able to hold off the potential encroachment from FaZe here on the west.
Is Beamy just, casually changing in sense mid-game? Not that I know if he does, but he would strike me as one that would. Or is he... He must have heard footsteps. The way that he's checking this corner, he heard something. He heard them rock up in the building. This is where your mind starts playing with you, right? It's like, wait, did I just... Was this like ghost steps? Or did I actually hear someone? Like, boys, no comms. I need to double-check this.
Last time this happened to me, a couple of days ago, I got killed by a VSS. I couldn't believe it. Well... realizing that the blue's on the back here. Iro's going to be charging up an 8 mile in the north circle, trying to do some damage to Lul. But you really doesn't connect with a whole lot of that. A little bit of damage here and there. But now it looks like he stayed in the blue, baiting a move from Corexi here from Beamy. He's on fire in this game. Another one! Beamy!
What a second transfer! Swings back, takes him out, finds his kill number 5, and we're only Sometimes this kid looks like a magician. He's like, poof, and the players are gone. That was some good stuff from Beamy.
Beamy
2937. Oh, didn't hit my shots today. Maybe I can play better tomorrow. No, Beamy, you're playing phenomenal right now.
Yeah, that was great stuff. Great stuff. And now it's completely shored up their back. Beamy can transition in and rendezvous with Vard and 8C to try and push through on this west side. It's not going to be easy though still, as we're on board with Nixie at the moment, as they're trying to come in from the east side. They had quite the split for all intents and purposes, but big nades going through here on towards Howl. Will Twisted Minds clean this up? Because this is all edge play right now. They need to clean this up and get another transition going themselves.
Twisted Minds are so good at forcing teams off their positions, and I mean, when teams don't remove themselves from their spots. Oh, nice shots from Example coming through. They take the fight straight to them, and they do so here as well. Finding themselves a double kill. It's going to set them at 2. And again,
little BMX action going on as well, and as I always usually call Example, the cyborg. He shows it with that nice little spray in the distance. Anyway, BBL is reinforcing this spot. They know that a push is on the cards here against them. Auglas as well. Foot is in such a bad position, considering that there's going to be such a barrier to entry.
It ain't going to be easy. When you thought you were just fighting the split BBL, now they've regrouped on the position, and you're getting shut at from the side. Beamy, I don't think he's able to get back on his feet. No, indeed, he won't. B80 falls as well, and that's Foot, despite getting a lot of kills, out in 12. But still, I mean, a game that wasn't going to go most likely their way regardless, able to claim 6 points of it is really as much as you could hope for.
A lovely flex out by August. They're in the south. They could have ignored that, but anyway, we've got ourselves Na'Vi trying to take out Entropic. They do already take out Grinnis as well as Janny. And actually, one of them was get stolen by Rocks. But once Pod Samulet comes in the back of this, maybe they can actually take this position completely, because Win or Die has also put in so much damage against Na'Vi.
Hitting all their shots from that off angle right now, down from below. As you see, as you said, 2 more teams coming in. Na'Vi don't want to have this happen 2 games in a row. Hakatori jumping headshot. What?
That was ridiculous. That was absolutely ridiculous. How on earth did he hit that? The stability is so lacking in all of that. But anyway, Rox is going to try and come up here on the drive-by. The Nuns he's dancing around. Is he actually going to be able to clean this up? Hakatori, you're going mental.
This is absolutely insane for those of you guys.
Hakatori puts up a split single.
And it dies to the Marley.
Why, but
to go down, they take out an entire team. So then say, you know what, I'll give you a point. It's fair.
What was that? Hakatori went radio rental and absolutely demolishes Pot Samulet.
Hakatori حل وجهي.
No problem in taking that spot, but Hakatori just
Sausage chubos.
There's a lot that can be broken down. If you haven't already go in and watch all of Flood's recent analysis videos on YouTube on Korean peaks and the like, a lot of what he talks about will be shown in that clip.
Sausage atıyor bir şey
They're not leaning around the tree, but just regular keeping. It's a lot of mechanical skill when into getting those kills there. What a play.
Clip that right now. I don't care. Just the jump shot into everything else that happened afterwards, because it was all insane. But anyway, let's get back in this game. We've got Bestolos trying to do something against Mad Bulls. I don't think this is going to work out too well for him. Mad Bulls is still pressing up against Win or Die, though, who are stealing some of all the action that was going on in the middle. It's all very uphill from here if this circle shifts south for these teams. It's a little bit of a small incline, but Mad Bulls will look for the kill points here.
If anything, Bestolos has gotten 1 placement.
There
is that, as Twisted Minds takes the herd onto Bumble Squad. In the meantime, Mad Bulls and Win or Die take the fight on elsewhere. Lookarook's able to get the double. They're trying to swing on this smoke here. They know there's one more nearby. Leosh, Groza in hand, scary as hell. Gun to go. Can find in those spots, but taken down instantly.
Groza wins out and all that, but is it going to be an easy trade back there for Mad Bulls? That being said, though, Bestolos sends a nade forwards and goes for the spray as well. Takes down Ibby, and seeing if they can do any more with that is going to be difficult for Bestolos. So he actually retreats home back. Twisted Minds is embroiled in a fight as well. With these teams moving up against them, it is going to be Bumble Squad in the smokes, trying to get out of the situation. Madsy unfortunately shoots eye deep.
I mean, you can see their example completely blinded, couldn't even see the door. Now he can finally get back inside. They still have one in the smoke. The Bluestone nade's now locked out as well. Matsy down to low HP, but prone, so he will mitigate some of that damage. I love the way that they have set up those deployable shields inside the building to mitigate extra damage. Oh, does this him there? He might just have the angle. Yes, he does. Lou, with 21 bullets left remaining, is able to fight the final player from Bumble Squad.
And that kind of bullet count shows how much chaos is going on right now. A lot has been going on. Not only is there chaos, but also chaos in the tables as well.
Шифер бебел, где не оценить, надо сделать команда
position where they could potentially get even more from this. Of course, their mind is going to be navigating towards August at the moment, as they're going to create that kind of edge barrier here for Twisted Minds to try and slowly move towards another position in this circle. But Bestolos is somehow still alive here against Mad Bulls.
A game of patience as Bestolos opts to tank the blue. Again, mechanical skill opts to sit on the little, I guess, concrete blocks instead of on the ground so they can't see his feet. Smart, small play there for him to be able to stay alive and stay unnoticed for a little while longer as Mad Bulls. He might just get the angle on Evie. He knows that there's no way he runs into the circle. Goes for the shot. Quincy turns around, finds him, but loses his teammate in doing so.
And all the chaos of this game, though, a rock. They've been in these compounds pretty much chilling and just taking the fights as they come to them here. As Lou will go for a spray across the way and try and deal with some damage. But BBL is saying, no, we are so stable in this game. We have such a good position. We can shoot at anybody and have complete free reign over them. That's going to be able to challenge them.
And the timing for Oculus could not be any worse. They were sat on the east side. They were waiting to see Twisted Minds players fall in the kill feed. The moment they finally leave, they go, you know what? We didn't get a knock. Fair. We'll go back to look towards BBL. That's when they lose 2, and now they might actually just get all of them back up on their feet because of it, or at least one extra. One has been confirmed already. But Orglis' timing on this kind of rotation back towards BBL, so unfortunate for them.
All the focus for Orglis is really kind of on one angle. BBL is going to try and flex out even further. We've talked about in the last chance, especially Toby, how BBL is very good at this tactic. Once they know that they can gain control and better angles on their opponents, they will try and constrict, try and surround, try and usher their opponents into an unwanted spot by, say, Orglis, for example, here.
Well, Orglis also now knows that they're the team most likely to get third-partied. The other two have their hard cover. They have their, I was going to say compounds, but more like just huts in play that they can maneuver around. So it's up to them to make something happen. It's up to them to isolate. That's why you're also seeing both Smash and Iroh on kind of contained duty. They're the ones playing the anchor positions on the western side. You cannot allow for Orglis to swing in here, because if they get a knock or two, that's going to completely open up the compound. Same thing with Twisted Minds on the other side. You cannot allow them to get control of the ridge line. You're seeing CC and Honor starting to back off now. I'm not sure if I'm liking this, because you're giving Twisted Minds space, and if there's something you just don't want to do against a team that is so good at bringing home wins in late game, that is allowing Twisted Minds to get out of that compound.
Yeah, Orglis isn't really pressing too much initiative from this, although that being said, Global Army does hit Voldemon. But can they capitalize off it is the question, because that's very far across the circle. And without a move set up to be able to exploit that knock, what can they do?
They're completely... Now, of course, Twisted Minds... I mean, there's a reason Twisted Minds ain't aggressing despite the space that's there, because they're not expecting to be given this for free. All of Orglis is looking north. No one is looking towards Twisted Minds. Now they are, but Loom Perfectus have already moved out. This is too late, Orglis. You might be in trouble here.
Yeah, they may be. They may be opening up as well. MK14 in the distance. Iroh goes big. He gets himself 2. Can he get himself 3 here? CCNX will bow down and get himself in a little bit of cover here. But that opens up so much for BBL to keep putting in the boot.
I think for Twisted Minds, they're going, wait, what? How are we given this space? Now you can see they're starting to run. They think they still don't quite believe that they have this much room to maneuver. And now BBL trying to make their way further forward. Again, Orglis had a chance to isolate, to kind of pin these two teams away from themselves. Instead, by not really aggressing on anyone, they allow for both of them to push. They effectively put themselves to be the team that will get sandwiched.
BBL's very clean to actually clean this up completely, and they will do so. But where's Twisted Minds now? Can they exploit the potential position here? They see that knocks have happened on the side of BBL. Going to charge up the nades. That's a little bit too left, unfortunately, unless Bounce is really cool. That was off the tree. Careful.
Almost took himself out with it too, and because he has to run back, I think that alone is actually going to get Iroh not just on his feet, but get him healed up as well. That was a very fortunate branch in the way there in favor of BBL.
That was a jump scare nade. I've never seen a jump scare nade like that, but that was terrifying.
Indeed it was. Of course, as long as Voldemon stays on the roof and stays alive, there's no swing opportunity. Batulins is not in a position from where he can set up a proper flank, because his roof position, Voldemon's that is higher up than Batulins' high ground spot, so he'd be able to see him on the other side. Now they swap. Shill up, sat with a Dragon of in hand, of course, makes perfect sense. You want the one-tap headshot potential.
And aside from the edge, look how open the rest of this circle is. So BBL is playing it slow, still have the roof, as you were mentioning. It's a good vantage point for quite a while here. But it will eventually be forced out. So they will have to concede it. The man advantage is going to be strong. Foldable shield, I mean, that currently is in the circle. I don't think there's any risk really of them Interesting setup.
You know, we've today it was kind of revealed with the whole terraforming turret. You can dig in.
Yeah.
We have Batulins. He's doing the opposite. He's building towers out of the deployable shields. I like it.
Well, there's another BR like that, and nobody really likes it. So we got ourselves. I mean, the thing that I was going to say about these foldable shields is there's not really an opportunity for BBL to really push against that. So he's taking the route of covering that eastern flank push round, right? Not necessarily the push over these hills at the moment.
I think this is BBL knowing the playstyle of Twisted Minds. Twisted Minds is a proactive team. They like to go out and make plays happen, but right now they're outnumbered, and I'm not sure if BBL is fully aware that it's a 4v3. They should be, but could be them perhaps expecting a snake to be somewhere too. The only thing is, with the terrain here, they have cleared their own side a long time ago, so you have to realize as well that, well, there's nowhere a solo could hide on the other side that wouldn't be seen by a duo. So it has to be a 4v3, and right now, with the utility they've got, with the MK14 and Hand of Iroh as well, you're just going to be waiting for Twisted Minds because they have to come to you. Smash is literally on the dot.
Yeah, this push-up, it's strong control in terms of, zone at least.
It's a perfect play because they got level 3 vests. They're prone down, so even nade damage won't do a whole lot unless if it literally lands on top of you. They're prone on the dot. They're waiting for them to stay twisted. You're the ones. You have to peek over this ridge line. We're prone here, ready to pop heads whenever you do so. Look at the way they're split out. Kind of as you said earlier, like kind of pearls on a string. Just 1-1-1-1 setup, waiting on a line here for Twisted to peek on over.
Move those shields forwards here.
13 сразу
As soon as you peek your head over, you're going to see it first as BBL. If you're lying down waiting for that opportunity, as long as you're focused on the right spots, they still have a few nades here and there.
I mean, they're playing battleships, but the map is getting so much smaller by every single second here with Twisted Minds now trying to make their way on forward. They got to get something going with the utility here. The smokes are there, but they're starting to dissipate. They have to make a play now before it's too late. Sheila over on one side. Voldemort is there too.
Trying to throw everything. The peek over when that nade went across, get a few shots in was very, very clutch by BBL. They refine Smash here as he will be able to take 2 Perfecticals and Lugo down. Smash as well as Schiller absolutely ripped Twisted Minds apart. And a solid game in what was initially chaos here.
Нормально. Первый уже GG.
Absolutely clinic. They played it to perfection. 16 kills, no casualties, and yes, they got to sit around in the middle for a while, but they went out and claimed all those kills. They took the fight to Oculus in that end game position as well, and then they waited out. They knew exactly how to play it. They knew where their cards were the best to play, and they did so perfectly in the fight against Twisted Minds.
There it is. There
Еще команда.
fight on back. We're going to head over to the studio now to break down our last Erangel of the day.
Тут switch.
Last Erangel of the day, second game of the day though, as we move through the PEC Spring Grand Finals. And I'm going to what could Twisted Minds have done to potentially win this one?
Been one more guy alive and have the circle go a little bit further south. No, it's hard, right? Because they have all the advantage BBL. They have one more
Топовая команда BBL
terrain to work with, and they have good util. They were able to do it, work the way that they should. So hardly anything they could have done. The perfect timing would have been to push and third party them once Oculus was losing players and once BBL had one player down. That was the only timing that they really had a huge opportunity. We got to talk about the Hagatory thing as well.
Son قاعدين чисто бебет твиста бас еще бугундик и устал как бомбу.
I would have liked, but it definitely was insane in Benja.
Yeah, it was crazy. I like what I'm seeing from them, and our games have been blessed today for sure.
Saga, on the other end though, we need to keep in mind that Mad Bulls and Twisted Minds sitting on top of our leaderboard, finding themselves in the final 4. That just means they're adding more points to the tally. Getting worried about seeing these particular two teams always making it to the end game.
Twisted Minds, no one's worried about seeing that to happen, because then that means they don't need to get top 2 because a global partner has taken pretty consistently making it late into the game, getting the kills to go along with it. And I mean, they're starting to whether or not they can continue that momentum. If they continue getting 10 points per game, it might not be the dominant wins in like yesterday's matches, but it's still more
I'm telling you, you shouldn't sleep on Mad Bulls. Anyway, there's the leaderboard as it stands right now. Twisted Minds and Mad Bulls still sitting in those top 2 spots. BBL, of course, being able to push themselves up into 3rd now, so Pod Samlet falls 1 down. But it really is becoming the Twisted Minds, the Phases, the BB teams, Avenger. They are sitting here in the top 8, and I think they're going to keep trying to remain there, obviously, all the way through.
Yeah, for sure. And in this case here, like, I love what I'm seeing from them, of course, but as you guys pointed out here with Mad Bulls, even if they have a lower average now, like, they stat padded themselves enough up to the top that they're going to have, you know, their average games, but we're going to see 1 or 2 more today and tomorrow, good games from them where they're going to put in, you know, 20 plus points or around that. where they're going to continue to kind of establish a little bit of a lead there. It doesn't matter if they win or not or get second or third, especially with Twisted Minds with the performance that they have. I got to say, though, I'm super happy to see Twisted Minds consistently pay off like they do. And, you know, even if yesterday we were pointing out like their sole focus is globals, sure, they want to win regionals, but they're right now playing like they would and adapt to the circles and this kind of style. To apply that to their global games too.
Let's move on now and take a look at the winner of this game, BBL. Saga, how were they able to claim that chicken dinner?
Well, they certainly made it easier for themselves than BBL have done in the past. And, you know, we made it easy for ourselves as well. Fun fact, we choose our team focus at the start of the day. So this was a fun coincidence. To prove it, the next one's Pod Samolet. So we'll break down their win after our next match. But BBL, there was a slight chance that there was some shenanigans at the start with Gedrox driving by. Iroh was looting separated from the rest of the team. Didn't really come to fruition, and they just simply held a nice four-way 1-1-1-1 split across that dirt road line, and then they took their opportunities well. They considered making a push in towards Bumble Squad after they made an emergency parachute in. They got the opening knock. There was a few players moving towards them, but they thought, no, we're going to hold ourselves back. But then they chose the correct aggression, Martin. Where they got this opportunity to go and clean up Lol W, they then later cleaned up Entropic in the same place, and they did so with no threats on them from third parties.
Yeah, they were able to first have a very greedy split that paid off, stay Fall Guys strong throughout, right? And then make sure that within the center of the circle to kind of flex out. Here they flex out a little bit on the southwestern side. They take out Foot, put a little bit of pressure, then go back and kind of reset towards the middle. Here, Iroh goes further out and kind of reinforces some of the angles and areas that they need to make sure that they stay Fall Guys strong, to make sure that they take on pressure. And they win so many of these fights here. They take out these players from short distance to close distance, drive up to them and put pressure around everywhere of the circle. That's just beautifully executed, Azara.
Yeah, it's really just a case of BBL. So many times we talk about them in the past as well, where they just get over aggressive. This time they're just tempering that aggression. They're holding it back, and as they go to push forwards, as they've cleaned up Entropic and go to take some peeks over towards the gas station, Iroh's holding the back line, MK14 in hand, denying August the chance of pushing in, and he's been such a huge factor in this team, looking as good as they do when they do.
Thank you so much, gents, for breaking that down for us and giving us insights into what we're seeing. We're obviously now moving away from Erangel, shaking it up a little bit. We're going to be heading to Tego Avenger. Does that change things up for a lot of these teams, or are our leaders just going to continue on with that momentum?
I mean, the confidence and morale stays the same, but right, your mindset and the way that you approach your game changes because it's completely new areas that you're looting, right? And then you have to consider and take all this new terrain map, all this you have to take into consideration. And this is where I have huge respect for our teams at the very top level, right? Because the amount of information and knowledge that you have to have in this game is so high. And some of our team, they excel doing it. And especially Twisted Minds here, they're one of the teams, especially with Batulins at the head of the reins here. He just knows so much about all these maps here, and he's going to steer them and micromanage his team into some of these spots that we rarely have seen being played before.
Let's find out how Tego plays out after this.
Buggy. Nothing on me. Reactive.
Resource still, I'm healing.
Holding. Low. Second floor.
Yes, coming.
He went top floor.
Really low. I'm healing. I'm building still.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
He is.
هيبقى حاسس حالي بكون شيز بقى.
It has to be fucking low.
He is, he's there.
Outside.
Outside
Top
sword.
floor. Dark one. On top floor.
2 active.
Nice.
Last 3 stories. Last 3 story.
Yeah. I'm chilling. I'm going back a little bit. Stable. I don't have any first aids. Blues on twice.
One's outside shed.
Blues on twice, guys. No one knocked.
One active guy.
He should be shit.
He should be shed. I think Beamy heard him shed.
Yeah,
He's shed.
Dead.
Oh,
Nice,
Beamy, you're
Beamy.
so good at. You heard him.
Yeah, he's on me.
Yeah.
Shot.
Two.
Two guys. Hit once. Pretty right.
People stopping on my east.
Just take your car and leave. Take your car
People
and
stop
leave.
following me now. One active is.
Nice, Beamy.
I need to run back.
I don't see anyone outside.
They're all front side. Just nade front side.
I'm nading inside, man. Outside left, outside left. Two or three guys outside left on me. Pushing left, pushing left.
I'm holding the
On me, on me.
I'm blind.
One
Nice,
more.
Where is he? Last one.
Edge of the zone. Smoke. Behind the smoke
Smoking?
somewhere. Just
Gift
throw a
comes,
smoke.
guys.
Just throw a smoke.
I'm gonna rest. I'm gonna rest.
If he can res. Squeezy, help.
One HP. No.
He is dead.
In the blue.
No. Nice.
Go to the tree.
Play tree. Play your own life. I'm dead.
I'm not.
You're poor player.
All right, well, we've got our game number 3 on the way for the day. Game 9 of 18, so we're going to be halfway pretty soon. And I've never smoked in my life, but I feel like I need a cigarette after these last 2 games. This is ridiculous. What are we just watching from these individual skill players, from Beanie, Hakatori looking awesome, to some of these final finishes as well. It's been already a good day, only 2 games in, Toby.
Clear to tell that these guys are coming in very, very warm. They know what's at stake. They know how few slots are up for grabs in order to try and claim the win. And with Madball still up there in and around the top, that's, I mean, unless if they get taken out, already 1 spot of those few away. So good to see the teams coming in very, very well off right from the get-go.
Well, game number 9, time to Tego. We are here for